Well, are you going to be impressed after the first few picks have come in? That is my question. Is Griffin now going to be on our blue side? And we'll see what's going to change moving into this.
I'm just going to call a spade in this draft.
All right.
I might get kicked off the broadcast.
Is that going to mean that there's a Yorick going to be picked up or something like that?
Let's take a look here. Griffin, they seem...
Nico.
All right. They're wanting to ban away the Nico. And Afreeca now responding with the Nocturne.
Yeah, not going to let that one go through yet again. Tarzan having that one targeted at him a couple of times. Of course, Griffin might be looking for that Galio first pick potentially. I hope they don't give it to Chovy again, but Aatrox going to be banned away from Keen. I don't think targeting Keen's champion pool is exactly the best maneuver. The guy has played about 1 million different things. Let me try and count this. 5, 10, 15, 17 unique champions so far this season. Not bad.
Well, all right. When you have to ban away the Aatrox, though, I do think that spells a much bigger disaster.
Yeah, I think so too.
There is a plethora of champions that can answer that in top lane. And so obviously Sword can't be feeling too comfortable. Just give him the Scion. No, just put him on a tank. All right?
Well, Kalista is going to go through. And now the Afreeca Freecs have a few different options as to what they're going to go for. I have a feeling that they won't be locking in their AD carries straight away, as the Alistar's going to be picked away just to make sure that they don't have access to that. And Sun is once again going to have the Lissandra. Galio, certainly the optimal choice as far as the pairing with the Kalista.
There's the holy trinity of Kalista supports right now. It is the Thresh, Galio, and the Alistar. So when Freeca takes the Alistar, it's almost guaranteed that Kalista will just have the Galio coupled with it. I think here Griffin just takes Zoe, accompanying the Galio. Do not put the Galio in mid lane yet again.
Please, goodness me, do not do that, as Galio will, of course, be locked in. Do you give away your mid laner, though, with the fact that Griffin can certainly flex this, or do you decide to take a priority jungler here? Or Tarzan, could be an option. Or a flex top mid laner.
So, Chovy, looking like maybe he wanted to take the Aurelia, obviously not the greatest of matchups, into the Lissandra. But, Rise, this is something I mentioned last game. No.
He was almost happy. He was almost happy. LS was almost happy, everyone.
I was almost there.
Yep, he was almost there.
I was almost... You know what? I think Chovy said at the end, you know what? No, I want to play Galio again.
Oh, I hope not.
So I would really not mind... Okay, well, we're going to have a Lucian locked in here for Afreeca.
I was wondering what Afreeca wanted to do here, and I actually probably would have liked an Ashe a little bit more, but I guess with an Alistar it feels a little bit worse.
Zoe now banned away. And, you know, I really like what Griffin has going on for them right now. They have a flex mid, flex support. It makes it very difficult to actually target all three roles in this second ban phase. And so Afreeca doing the obvious thing, they're banning away the Zoe because Griffin should still be considering it as a champion to pick. The problem is that you are walking in to Keen with a counter pick available. Aurelia being banned away could maybe signal that Griffin is intending to get Scion.
Interesting. Remember, the Scion was banned by the Afreeca Freecs in game number 1. Could certainly be a follow-up ban here, 7 seconds to go, and that is going to be the ban. Here we are.
All right, well, I think that the Aurelia ban gives it away, but obviously you're going to have to ban it probably here anyway. I would have liked to have seen Griffin ban something else first. Wait for Afreeca to show what their ban would be.
Well, it certainly does feel like Sword's tank go-to choice. In fact, there are no other true tanks that he's played so far this season.
Yeah.
It is just the Scion, 9 games.
Rek'Sai now being banned away, and Rek'Sai's not a champion I think of when I think of a champion that I would want to walk into the Kalista Galio Lee Sin, and now Afreeca hovering the Gragas.
I'd love to see the Gragas here.
But instead, we're going to have a Kindred again, and this nullifies the ability... Oh, never mind.
Still a few different options, aiming like just cycling through a few different ones. The Camille could also be going towards the top side, but it will be the Kha'Zix to be locked in against the Lee Sin. And you can go Lee Sin hunting with the Kha'Zix on your squad, so it could be an opportunity here for the Afreeca Freecs.
Kha'Zix and Lissandra obviously can make quick work of a lot of mid lane champions when Lissandra has level 6. There's probably very few mid lane pairings that work better with him. Maybe perhaps Malzahar And Griffin now, they're doing...
Oh,
I mean,
no.
this is the sign of disaster, Atlas.
Is it? Is this
This
the
is
coming apocalypse?
Really this is the coming of the end, when you have to blind Aatrox on 9.5 blue side because you were incapable of playing stronger blind champion picks.
Sorry, the blind Urgot. Aatrox, impossible at the moment.
Oh yeah,
Being
the blind
banned.
Urgot. I'm just
I
so
love
flustered.
this from Keen. I would love this from Keen. They're going to lock it in. The Jax to be brought towards the top side, and Keen once again going to have a great matchup into Sword. Yes, range advantage is going to be there for the Urgot, but as soon as Purge gets pressed, you press Counter-Strike and you watch all them bullets just ping off your spinning whatever weapon he's decided to go with. I'd like to see a fishing rod.
This is a really scary spot to be in if you are Griffin. Now, they do have the Rise against the Lissandra, like what I talked about in a possible solution that they could have had in game number 1.
Yep.
So at least they have it here in game number 2, but Afreeca still have a much better team composition than Griffin here in game number 2. And this is really concerning.
Especially in the early stages of the game, right? I feel like it's once again going to be an example of Afreeca Freecs having a lot of priority around this map. In the early stages of the game, of course, you want to get that tier stacked up as the Rise, and the Urgot as well has been nerfed into the ground. Kalista isn't necessarily phenomenal in the early game, but should be able to get work done here against the Afreeca Freecs. Once again, bastion of hope for Griffin is bottom side.
And on the side of Afreeca, the Jax is a ticking time bomb.
Oh yeah.
That Griffin is going to have to be extremely afraid of. Kha'Zix has amazing setup synergy with the top and the mid lane.
Talk about gankable lanes for a Kha'Zix as well. I mean, if you're gonna build a composition around having a Kha'Zix in the jungle, you want to be able to build CC, and every single one of these lanes has ways to set up ganks very, very effectively. I really like what the Afreeca Freecs have put together, and I really like the fact that we've seen 2 rosters that have worked out twice in a row here for Afreeca. Let's get into game 2. Of course, what I mean is Afreeca Freecs finding a roster that they can settle on and finding success with it over and over again. It's not exactly entirely the Keen show for the Afreeca Freecs.
And up there in the top lane, Sword will have the spellbook on Urgot as Afreeca. They have locked in and selected the Savant of Psychological Warfare, which is the Cowbell Alistar.
Oh, beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
Just
when he
love it.
taunts,
Yep.
there's nothing better in League.
I know, and it just reminds me of Christopher Walken every time. It makes me so happy. Okay. Well, Griffin just going to be playing things very carefully in the early stages of the game.
Do you know what this Rise skin reminds me of? It reminds me of Christian Bale.
Oh, yeah.
With the really
Which one is it?
It's the zombie Rise. When Christian Bale lost all the weight.
Yeah, in The
You know what I'm
Machinist.
talking about? Yes.
God, that movie was terrifying.
That's the Christian Bale skin here.
Have you seen the Christian Bale body timeline? It's just insane. He's like, his weight goes like up and down like a heart monitor over like 3 years or something like that.
Insane.
It's ridiculous.
Super, super, super good here.
And as you have a look at the movies that he did all that time as well, you're like, damn, he did some pretty good movies in a very short period of time as well. Laning phase going to break out. We're going to check out the win rates of these champions. Of course, Sword not losing very much. One of those Urgot losses, though, was against SKT.
Yep.
And that was after the nerfs, so you can understand that one. Having a look at the win rates for the Afreeca Freecs, better than I was expecting, actually, because Afreeca have been doing a lot of losing recently, so don't mind this one at all. Sun, of course, a new addition here to the Afreeca Freecs roster, so that does make some sense. But look at this. Afreeca got priority here in the mid lane, understandable, priority towards the top side, and it's only bottom side of the map that they're getting pushed in. That's where Tarzan is going to be focusing his time. So we can see whether Keen can get the bounce back here. Top side of the map, Krogcamp now being taken from Dread. We'll put him there. We may need to see some attention bottom side before too long.
He ends up doing the red into Krugs, into the Scuttle Crab. We'll see if he just transitions into the blue side jungle here. He does. He ends up placing a ward as it looks like Griffin.
Oh my goodness.
They want to make a play here. Yep.
This is the only health bar that you need to get through. There's nothing there unless Jelly can get that passive off in time, but I don't know whether he can. This is a huge minion wave. That's the flash in. The double taunt to come down. Cleanse is going to be used by aiming, but can they actually find anything back? The turret is being juggled just beautifully as they want more. Look at this minion damage. It's just insane. 2 kills come forward, and Griffin, they do it again. This will be a turret plate as well after 2 kills. Bottom side of the map.
And this is a fantastic play here by Tarzan, able to make his way down to the right-hand side of the map. And as you pointed out, aiming, no cleanse available, takes way too much damage down below. Now they're proxying the wave, and this is a nightmare because Jelly and aiming know that Tarzan must be in close proximity for Viper and Lehens to be doing this. Makes it very uncomfortable to try to approach towards that turret, and so almost 2 turret plates end up going down. Lane priority, fantastic spot right now. I think aiming's gonna be able to stop the, that's really bad for Viper and Lehens. It's actually really bad.
Well, should be able to get a Freeca back into
plates. Yeah, that definitely just negated one of the plates that they captured. However, the CS deficit, I mean, it speaks for itself. This is a pretty cookie cutter dive here by Griffin, juggling the aggro extremely well. Because aiming auto-attacked the Griffin champions, all of these ranged minions, including the cannon, ripping away at his health bar.
Well, Keen does get a stun here, as Conqueror's going to proc here. Sword has to flash to get out of the way.
Mother of God.
Yeah.
Atlas,
this is only going to get worse. That's the really horrible part here if you're a Griffin fan, is that is just a sign of things to come. But next time, Keen's probably going to flash after him and kill him. The time after that, he won't need to flash.
This sort of reminds me of the Twitch Rivals LoL tournament, right? Where you had some teams that had like 2 challengers, and then they had the gold 4 player that was in like mid or top, and just have to try to throw them on a tank and pray. You know, so that's the vibe that I'm getting.
Yeah? I don't know whether I'd be that harsh to good old Sword. He's had some moments.
All right, I'm being
a little bit overly aggressive. That being said, he's not playing great, so there is certainly elements of truth, but it's a rough time. It is certainly a rough time. The Urgot going to have some relevance in team fights, and you know, he's farming all right at this point. So
and also
looking for some positives. There you go. That's what I can muster.
Yeah, it's important to note that Keen is he's arguably the best top laner in LCK.
Yeah.
And so it is rough for him. And I think that this is going to be the matchup where Sword really will show as one of the issues that Griffin can have in the early stages of the game. And it's not like he's going up against a top laner that's a pushover or something. Absolutely not. And he also has a rough matchup here in game number 2.
Yep, there's a lot of bad news stories here as Tarzan's going to have to just safeguard his way over the wall. Does so very easily. Next Drake is going to be that mountain, so a better one here. And likely going to see Afreeca Freecs go for the contest. But you're not going to be likely to see Sword contesting anything, as Keen has just got him shoved in over and over again, and he's got a gigantic CS advantage as well. Flash about halfway off cooldown here for Sword. Not a lot of opportunities when the turret is hogging all of these minions though. So Dread, no opportunity for a gank or anything like that. He's just power farming as best he can on the Kha'Zix. And is this one of those games where you want to send your Kha'Zix towards the bottom side of the map? Or is this one where you want to try and win your side lanes or your solo lanes a little bit more than you otherwise would?
Well, the Lucian, when he's put as far behind as he is, you know, generally there's the philosophy that you don't try to put out a fire, you try to start one elsewhere.
Yep.
When you have a losing lane, and he's just so far in the hole right now, it'd be very difficult to salvage that lane state. So I think just making sure that Keen can do his thing and transition into the later stages, that's where you can hope to find the most success, especially if Lysandra can get some sort of a priority and you can do 3-man plays against the Urgot up in top lane, especially because the Mountain Drake won't be coming up until 3.5 minutes from now, so there's no need to get right-hand side priority. There's no reason to focus on the right-hand side of the map, and I think that all the attention has to be brought up here in top lane, and I really like what Keen's doing. There is such a massive spellcaster minion wave on the side for Griffin Sword, and This is going to give Keen the potential to permafreeze if he wants to look for it, although it does look like he's inviting it into the turret, which is very surprising because Kha'Zix is in such close proximity.
One of the things that I do like, though, is the opportunity of going for a Rift Herald in a few minutes. Is going to have to hold that thought for a moment as Dread's going to dive on forward. Flash immediately going to be used. Void Assault going to get the Kha'Zix out of there, but this is not going to be the case on the bottom side. Jelly will go down, just level 5. Doesn't have the ultimate available, and that's just a 2v2 kill going over to Griffin.
Griffin looking a lot better here in game number 2. They have the gold advantage.
Remember, no flash as the ultimate does come in. Chovy should be going down here as Sun picks up that kill, but it's a great kickback from Tarzan. Okay, Dread, can you find this one? Oh, had the isolated target, but isn't going to go for it.
Aiming.
Yeah, wants to come on over, gets the flash in. There's the piercing light. As Ardent plays is not enough, and Lahens saves the life of his jungler.
And it was really unfortunate. It looked like Dread wasn't on the same page as Aiming, as he was trying to do something, and had he been able to pick up the kill on Tarzan there was such a big bounty that would have really helped propel Lucian back into the game. And so, very unfortunate there for Afreeca. Close call for Griffin as we take another quick look at the replay here.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of which, this isn't a replay, guys. This is Keen trying to kill Sword before he goes down. Oh! He's going to be able to do so. Now, Lahens, no damage available. Grandmasters might keeping Keen alive. And is he going to do it again?
Top lane is looking really rough right now. Down 25 CS. Just got clapped as the Urgot, and now the lane state is fantastic for Keen. Yet again.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
This is
We're going to be in for a game. Yeah, Viper probably was just thinking to himself, can top and mid please just go even?
Yep. Stop feeding and then we'll be absolutely fine. He's what he's saying, but he's going to lose his support. Oathsworn not going to be doing as much for the Kalista, but does mean that now the Afreeca Freecs is going to have a lot more room to move. And this is what happens. If things go wrong elsewhere on the map, then Viper can't actually play with his lead because there's going to be 2 people against him on the bottom side, and he's just going to have to try and trade farm instead of pushing that advantage further. Going to check this one out one more time. Chovy does fall down, but this kick is fantastic. Bit of extra damage there. Sun easily goes down as Dread. Oh, not quite enough.
Nice 2-man kick, and we'll just take another quick look at this. So Sword ends up missing that Q. He hits the flip, ults a little bit prematurely, I believe. Yeah, it dissipates.
Yeah.
So Keen able to get that kill right there, and Lahen's not able to do anything.
Triumph is really nice there as well. Looks like it's just another day in the office.
Did so well, Keen.
Nice work, Keen.
Galio, no spells.
Well, he's right.
Looks so calm and collected.
Yeah.
In a lot of these situations. Definitely a mark of a very good player. A lot of people will get anxious in high-pressure trades and moments, but he seems so cool and calm. And here in game number 2, he's definitely looking like he can maybe be the saving grace yet again for Afreeca, as he has been in a lot of games this season.
Exactly, but what I want to point out is the fact that the Afreeca Freecs are playing a beautiful macro game here as well. I mean, Dread throws down Shelly towards the top side of the map. She's going to be able to grab herself a charge and feed even more money into Keen. That's assuming Shelly actually is able to get a charge off. She was so close. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of extra money. Another plate's going to come in here. Shelly's just going to keep on punching.
I think Keen's going to get 5 plates.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
They trade it for a mountain, and now you can guarantee that this tower is going to go down.
And
Viper's looking to trade, but is this actually worth it? As Jelly is level 6 now, they might be able to survive underneath this turret. Taunt not going to be followed up on as Tarzan gets out of here, and they don't even get this tower. Falls down top side of the map in favor of Afreeca.
First turret going over to Afreeca. Gold score is all but nullified almost. As finally, another turret going to go over here for Griffin. 1.4k gold lead on the side of Griffin. They have a Mountain Drake and an Ocean Drake. And but Keen, he's very big.
He is super huge. He's going to have his Trinity Force probably when he goes back home. But what I wanted to talk about was the fact that Viper on the other side of the map is also extraordinarily strong. He's going to be very close to his 2 items, and mid-game is exactly where you want to be fighting. For the Kalista, So it'll be about the Afreeca Freecs and whether or not they can play around having this very, very strong Jax in a side lane, or whether the team fighting from Griffin is just going to reign supreme, because we know that when the mid-game hits, they are able to get these skirmishes and play them out very, very well.
Looks like Keen actually maybe wants to stay going up into top lane. He's waiting on Fountain for quite a while. I'm assuming that he hasn't. Okay.
Yeah, Trinity Force is done at 13 minutes.
I'm impressed.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Clip that, guys. Clip that.
Trinity Force is completed as Sword probably not sure what he wants to do in a situation like this. Lucian going to be very close to completing that Blade of the Ruin King.
But that's up against Viper, who's already got his done. Also has Boots 2 completed and a cheeky dagger there with a stopwatch available. He's almost fight ready. We're going to get some skirmishes here, and they've already moved him towards this mid lane. It's going to be answered by aiming. As you can see, Keen playing very respectfully on the top side of the map. 10 seconds until the plates fall down. And it's basically just bot lane and top, but Afreeca Freecs also able to get one of the plates in the mid lane, means that they were able to get a little bit more of that Globe of Gold as that started.
So Jax trying to commence the split push as Tarzan looking for a kill here onto Sun.
Yep, he's going to be able to take the claw out, and Tarzan tried to get the kickback, I guess, but wasn't enough.
Yeah, really uncharacteristic miss.
That was a very strange maneuver there.
Yeah.
Didn't want to invest flash, I guess, so went for the safeguard kick play, but that didn't work.
So now we have a stalemate occurring here in the mid lane. Keen is in close proximity. Tarzan, oh no.
Oh, there's the flash in from Sun. He wants to be able to get this one. The ultimate available from Sun is going to use it as they look to lock him down. They do pick it up. The Rise is the one that gets it as Chovy goes down very low, aiming with the culling, but Tarzan is going to survive. Big knock up, Realm Warp now to try and follow as Dread's going to get put into the grinder. It's a double kill for the Rise. 7-2 now as Griffin, we mentioned this. Their skirmishing is phenomenal at this stage of the game, and Fed Jax or no, you're not able to get anything done.
And that was a really big pickup right there by Sword as well to try to propel him back into the game as well. And it looked like Tarzan was almost certainly going to go down there, and that would have been very unfortunate because his bounty would have just been donated into the hands of Griffin. And now, mid-tier 1 turret looking to likely be raised here.
Yeah, no culling available from aiming, but they're running out of minions just a tad. As, they do take down the turret. Aiming trying to get some damage back, but just doesn't do a lot of that. He's 50 CS behind, 0-1-0. This is what we've been seeing a lot, actually, out of the Lucians. I feel like Lucian has really taken a bit of a backseat from being perma-ban status to now not exactly finding the wins. Tarzan trying to keep himself alive. The hero's entrance positioning was just phenomenal.
And they weren't able to lock down Tarzan. Aiming's culling not the cleanest as Keen was in a full-on retreat. And it was a good ultimate by Lehens, able to get in there. Tarzan able to escape by the skin of his teeth, as now Griffin, they have about a 3,000 gold advantage here with the Mountain Drake.
Just a little bit silly for Afreeca to start a fight there when they knew Hero's Entrance was available. Things like that. Sun has been a little bit overly eager on the Lissandra with a lot of his engagements. Maybe not so much in the last game. The last game he played very, very nicely and actually only went in when he needed to. But in his debut performance, I believe it was on the Lissandra, and he was playing hyper aggressively. And that was for better or worse. And especially that last was an example of for worse. As Afreeca trying to get themselves a dragon.
It does look like they are trying to get themselves a Cloud Drake.
No Infernals this game, unfortunately.
I think if you're Griffin, you're not obligated to fight this by any means, but it does look like they are keen on it.
Not going to be able to do so. Realm Warp is not going to do anything. As now Sword able to get the flank. Good kickback there onto Keen, who gets himself out of trouble. Sun in the backline gets a lot of damage. The culling from aiming does some work, but the stopwatches are keeping Griffin alive. Keen gets the first kill though. Fate's Call comes out. Keen in a whole host of trouble. Going to get taken down now as the Afreeca Freecs trying to fight this one back. Lehens is going to fall as Chovy gets headbutt polved. They are able to take down the Kazakhs. They're able to get a lot of damage, but aiming is super huge, and he's able to get the work done.
And that was a really chaotic fight in the end. It ended up being a 3-for-3. Keen did go down, but so did Tarzan. And it was really fortunate for Griffin that Chovy was able to stay alive. We take another quick look at this. The Cloud Drake was already down. Lissandra had a really good flank from the back. You can see Tarzan trying to kick right into Sword, but Sword got locked up right away. And then as soon as the stopwatch ends up fading, he gets picked up immediately. Keen keeps going forward, ends up getting rune prisoned, and then knocked up by Lehens. He ends up falling at a time where he likely did not want to go down, obviously, as Chovy able to escape there by the thinnest of margins.
And you can see how well teamfights go with a Lissandra, right? Those frozen thralls were creating so much space control for the Afreeca Freecs when Griffin do have a lot of that in their composition just innately. If you can get these kills rolling through on Afreeca's side, Lissandra really can help out. What can really help for Griffin is having the 2 items already completed for Viper on this Kalista, so that AoE advantage is going to be there. Righteous Glory coming in for the Rise. We've seen a lot of it over in the LPL. Pawn, of course, debuted it here in the LCK. Chovy's gone for it as well.
Interestingly, he does have the Righteous Glory, but he's also being forced into the Ionian boots in order to get that last 10% CDR. And I actually wonder, due to the dynamic of the Kha'Zix, Jax, and Lucian and the attack speed reliance that some of those champions have, if straight Frozen Heart Seraphs would have just been better, you would have gotten the 40% CDR. You can go Ninja Tabby as well to boot. And I just think that it might have been a little bit stronger because your Kalista is already so strong. Your Lee Sin is extremely strong as well. It's not like Ryze has to be doing the most damage. The utility would have been extremely valuable. But obviously the Righteous Glory is not the worst by any means either.
Oh my goodness. 2.5k gold lead for Keen on this Jax. As our Sword, this is not your time. You're not supposed to be in this lane, I don't think.
Okay.
Keen is probably going to tell you to leave. And you're going to have to say yes.
Fine.
Okay, no. He's going to be merciful this time around. That is a full health turret that Keen doesn't really want to be tanking up here at this point in the game. You bet your bottom dollar, though, after a couple more items comes in, he's going to be underneath that turret, and he just ain't going to care. Just whacking away.
He almost has the Spear of Sojin completed, and that's where Jax almost becomes a different champion at that point.
He almost becomes a helicopter at that point. He's almost Hecarim. Because, yeah, guys, what Spear of Sojin does is with the Essence Flare passive, if you're able to get some auto attacks off while you have your Counter-Strike active, you can basically just press the button again after the stun and negate all auto attacks.
I like that.
I think it sounds balanced, doesn't it?
It does.
It sounds balanced.
I like that.
Impossible to be hit by stuff. How could that be a problem? It can't be a problem.
It can't be a problem.
Does he have an ultimate that he can just press at any time that he wants? Oh, yeah, he does. He's got one of those too, I guess.
While we're on the topic of this, what do you think about also dealing half of the opponent's HP?
With a single W-empowered auto attack?
Exactly.
Oh, I feel pretty good about it.
I think
that just sounds balanced to me.
Yeah, it does.
That's just...
I like that.
That's like tightrope walking levels of balance.
Imagine hitting, like, let's play a little round of Jeopardy here.
All right.
What is ERQ dead?
Well, it might be Lehens.
Okay.
At this point, his Fate's Call is going to be utilized. A bit of damage comes out. Yeah, no, it was... I was trying to segue into some action, but it's going to dissipate. Can you repeat your question?
What is ERQ dead?
ERQ dead? That's Keen.
Zoe.
Ah, yes. It's now also Jax. At this point in the game is our son. He's going to find the gargoyle this time. And he doesn't have the Fate's Call, so that he's very, very dead. That is a great follow-up kill there from the Afreeca Freecs to try and get something back on the board. 3,500 gold is the lead here for Griffin, but Afreeca Freecs probably not too worried about it because they have their win condition. He is there. He is standing with a halberd in hand. This is Jax with a real weapon. So you know his voice line where he says, imagine if I had a real weapon. He does have a real weapon, and that's called a Spear of Sojin, and it is damn powerful. In this man's hands.
Who's Sojin?
I don't know.
That's an interesting question. It's like Luden. Who's Luden?
I don't know, but he echoes a lot.
Does he?
Yeah, he doesn't have great audio setup in his stream room. You know, he needs to get some of that that cool like audio, the sound dampening stuff to put on the walls, I think.
You know what would be great is if Doran became a champion. That would be
really cool.
This is a replay, but we're not going to talk about
They
it.
can make a Doran Horn skin because he at least makes items for the champions.
What if Ornn is Doran?
Whoa, mind blown, dude.
What if Doran was Ornn's dad?
Then that'd be
Doran.
awesome. It'd be really cool.
Dad
This
Ornn.
could also be awesome. Hero's entrance in great position. Quadra knock-up. Comes in for hands as the Afreeca Freecs are trying to keep themselves alive. Keen does have the ultimate running, but it's 2 kills already for Griffin. This was just a great position to fight, and they're just going to realm warp their way into the Baron and start this one off instantly. Dread is alive, no flash, but does have the smite. But look at this Baron, it's just going down extraordinarily quickly. They'll have the Rend, and they'll have the Purple Worm. Afreeca just not going to contest.
And that's a really unfortunate feeling here if you are Afreeca. We'll take another quick look at the replay in just a second here. And even though Dread did have the smite, let's say that he did have flash, it's a Callista.
Yeah.
Can't really contest against the Rend. As Lehens.
Might face check this one as Dread is in there. They're not going to be able to do it though, and that is a good forward ward. Come in as Lehen's not going to be able to get the taunt, and that's going to be Sword grabbing the red buff. Yeah, like you say, pretty decent leash.
And one of the real problems here in this game is look at the level disparity between champions. We'll take a look at that in a second here as Chovy, he gets locked up right away, but it doesn't matter. Galio, really cool champion. Seraph's Embrace as well to boot. As Keen is just not able to deal any damage. He got exhausted, he got kicked right out of the team fight there.
Yep.
And then Sun not able to deal any damage on the Lissandra via the engagement. And so now coming back into live, take a look at the level disparity. You have 3 level gap on support, 2 level gap on AD carry, 2 level gap in mid lane, a level and a half, almost 2 in the jungle, and then Keen's ahead, but
yeah, Keen's ahead.
That's because I'm impressed with that.
He's like basically the only champion on this Afreeca roster at the moment. I feel like Lissandra has been getting some stuff done, but look at these CS margins, dude. It's just out of control. 78 CS in the lead for Viper on this Callista. He has his Guardian Angel done. QSS there as well. All the safety that he would require to try and hold on to this 1,000 gold bounty that he's put himself together. It's real scary stuff. But the Baron hasn't been utilized to such great effect here at this point in the game. Afreeca Freecs have been able to clear out the minion waves.
As here they are taking their time, and I like what they're doing. If people are wondering why not push that wave immediately, look at where Ryze and Urgot are. I think they're waiting to synchronize the push with the Ryze, as well as just making sure that the champions are all in better positions, so that when they do end up crashing the wave, they can use the temporary time to do other things.
Also, give Afreeca Freecs as little time as possible to actually make their lane assignment calls. It's going to be Sun waiting up towards the top side of the map, though, and so far, Griffin haven't been able to truly find anything. Dread just lying in wait in order to try and take down Tarzan. That's going to be a difficult thing to do, even if he is a Kha'Zix.
Viper and friends trying their best to get something done here, as Chovy still, meanwhile, up in the top lane. Ryze, I mean, he presses buttons.
And our Sun almost dies because of that. And that's going to open the door to this inner turret top side of the map. King goes back down bottom side, though, and Sword isn't going to be able to respond. We'll have to press his Ghost button before he can teleport, as you can see. Spellbook giving him that one, but Ghost certainly going to help him stay alive against the Urgot.
Jax down here trying to do his best to clear out the minion wave, but there's definitely a very scary problem looming for Afreeca, which is the next inevitable team fight. Mountain Drake is coming up here in 15 seconds. Probably not one that Afreeca want to lose their heads over.
Cheeky devil.
Magi-Eyes?
Yep, he's going to pick that one up.
That's another one. Where's Magi-Eyes? Who's Magi?
I don't know. Often there are a lot of items that are named after certain summoners that have done certain good things as well.
Oh, is Magi one?
Yeah,
I know
Magi might be one of them. Athenes, of course.
Athenes.
Morellos, of course.
Yep, Morello.
There's a lot of different ones. And so that might be another example of one of those particular pickups.
Thank you, Alice.
Yeah, just a bit of trivia for you there. Actually, I remember reading about it when I was in LA. One of the times gone by, reading about all of the different names that have made their way into the game. Of course, remember there's been a hell of a lot of items, even if they're not all still in the game. So it's cool to know that we're games like shouting out a lot of the contributors.
Do you know a lie that I believed for a really long time? You know how there's the items that are special?
Yeah.
I believe there was... Someone told me once that Freak had a unique skin. Only for him. And it just wasn't true, and that broke my heart. I asked him. About 2 years ago, I asked him. It
Really?
was so sad. I started to cry.
Oh, no.
I didn't really cry, but... Yeah, I had originally heard a rumor that he had a unique main skin.
Oh, really?
His account had, yeah. It wasn't true, though.
Ooh. Maybe that's just what they want you to believe.
Maybe it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
That would be really cool, though. You know, I think that would be cooler for World Champions than
Having
just their
skins you
skin
can
line.
buy, I guess.
Or if they had a special chroma for it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That
I
would be
think
cool.
like don't give them the entire skin.
Yeah.
Tarzan might actually be caught out here. Gonna get the kickback though, and he's survived for so incredibly long. Into the grinder. That's a great fear to come in onto Keen, but he's keeping himself alive for now. Counter-Strike once again going to go off. Does now have the stopwatch. We'll see whether he'll have that one available yet again, but that's the double kill as the Jax goes down. That could be the last nail in this coffin as Chovy's pushing up to the inhibitor turret. Sun had to go into his Zhonya's, and he'll have to get the hell out of there. Afreeca Freecs lying in wait.
Oh, I think that they want to kill Sword. Oh, nice cancel there. That is definitely
really good
gonna
headbutt bomb. They should be able to grab this kill pretty easily. Doesn't have the fear beyond death, of course. Remember, piercing light's going to be enough to do it. And aiming grabs that one, so that is some respite. But now we've got the Baron being started up. We've got Viper there, available to help out as well. Inhibitor is going to go down on the top side. And Chovy now looking to push forward into the mid lane as well. This Rise is a one-man wrecking crew.
This is very solo QS.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's a one-man party here. Baron going to go down. Nasher now, yep, consumed as well, and it's pretty. It's unfathomable to imagine that Afreeca should be able to hold on to the assault that's going to come to the mid inhibitor as well as the bottom inhibitor turret in the coming moments. We take another quick look at how this all transpired. Tarzan going on to the Krugs. And once again, they just get jebaited.
The Galio has been so incredibly pivotal in every single one of these skirmishes that Griffin has won. Every single one.
Yeah. Keen ends up using the stopwatch, flashes away. He almost did get away.
He did. That was
not quite.
Right on the edge of the corrosive charge.
It's really sad.
Yeah, really sad. Actually, because we didn't get to see it, of course, because things were happening elsewhere.
Did you shed a tear?
No.
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Wasn't impressed.
No. I think it might be the illness. I've done my very best to clog my sinuses.
Do you know what I saw the other day? I just looked up and I saw the advertisement for the sponsor of the LCK, the
Uri Bank?
Uri Bank, yeah.
Yep.
Have you seen the LCK card?
Yes, I have, and it's super awesome. What's also super awesome is this potential team fight right now as Jelly gets a big pulve onto Viper. He's got a Guardian Angel, though. He's absolutely fine. Fate's Call just to continue this fight moving forward. And that is going to be the Cow dead. That is a huge flash forward from Sword. This is why he picks the Urgot as Dread. He's trying to do what he can to get away and dodge skill shots, but in the end it actually just puts him into the death chamber faster. And speaking of which, Lyssandra's going to follow him, aiming. Now just watching on. Everyone else is dead. He's trying to pick up some minions if he can, but Griffin now will be able to tie up the series. We're looking at a game number 3, Afreeca Freecs versus Griffin, as Griffin make it look real easy. In game number 2, no tilt to come out after that game 1 loss, and they will extend the series.
And we are going to go to a game number 3. Viper and Lahen's able to do phenomenal work off of the gank that Tarzan was able to give them super early on. And try as he might, Keen was not able to carry Afreeca in this game number 2.
Nope. And I just think that having a lot of that global follow-up is really what put the nail in the coffin for the Afreeca Freecs. Yep. I think that Galio would have been a really nice ban to see from the red side. They banned Nocturne and Thresh on the Afreeca Freecs side. And yes, they are 2 champions that are very, very good at the moment. However, if you instead had have banned something like Callista Galio in those positions, then you don't get these super high priority picks to come out from the Griffin squad and the Kalista first pick really did seem to be all they needed in order to create complete control, because the game went as Afreeca would have wanted to in the early game, but then Griffin are just way better at fighting around these advantages and unlocking Lahens from the lane, getting the hero's entrances exactly where they needed to be. That was the answer that they needed. So Afreeca now back to the drawing board as they move back towards the blue side for game number 3.
Well, we'll see if anything has changed up in terms of maybe substitutions or just the way that draft is ultimately going to be approached. I do think that Griffin is still looking very vulnerable in the draft. This time around, they did have the Rise to answer the Lissandra.
Yeah.
They
also
had Tarzan on a better jungler that allows him to influence the game instead of an Olaf.
And they had the dream bottom lane in the Kalista Galio, which is probably the bottom lane that everyone wants at this point in time. So it was a much better looking draft. Also, the fact that this season Tarzan has spammed almost, it's just a ludicrous amount of Lee Sin games. So he's very, very comfortable on the lead at this point in time. It's a huge gold lead at the end for Griffin. This felt like more of what we should have been expecting as they break the losing streak at 3 games. So this is 1 win back, but still, they have to win game number 3, and Blue Side has looked pretty good for both of our teams so far. Anything could happen. To be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely sure that Griffin are going to be able to close this one out, because the drafts, especially on this side of the map, have been really questionable. So this is where they're going to have to prove themselves. Guys, it will be a short break, and then we'll be back for game number 3, see whether Afreeca Freecs are going to be able to go back to game number 1 form, or whether it's Griffin able to follow through with the momentum of a game 2 victory. Don't go anywhere.